Hello and welcome to the MCQ lecture series. In today's class, we are going to look at some of the important multiple choice questions with respect to Indian economic environment semester 2, which is the economics general paper for FYBA. In my previous class, I have covered some of the important MCQs with respect to chapter 1 and 2. I'll put the links in the description below so that you can go and check them out. In today's class, we are going to look at the MCQs in relation to mergers and amalgamations as well as e-wallet services. So let's get started. The first question is in relation to e-banking, then I'll start with e-wallet and then we move to mergers and amalgamations. So here the first question is, dash are the opportunities for e-banking in India. What can be the possible opportunities for e-banking in India? And the underlying options are A, financial inclusion and financial literacy. That means e-banking services are taking banking to the doorsteps, and in the segue of the same, what will happen is the people who are not formally included in the banking structure or banking business per se, they will get included in the banking. That is, financial inclusion will happen, and also financial literacy. That means they will also understand how finances work, how they can save and things like that. So first is that opportunity. Second is increase computer literacy and internet users in the country. The third is competitive advantages. That means there are so many banks in India, and then when they move towards e-banking, there will be certain competitive advantages as well. That means in relation to the kind of services they will provide and the sort of profitability they can reap with the help of such services. And the last is all of the above. That means financial inclusion and literacy, computer literacy and internet users, and also competitive advantages. So here the correct answer is option D, all of the above. That means these are all the sort of opportunities that are available to e-banking in India. I hope the question is pretty much clear. Let's now move to the next one, which is in relation to, now here onwards we are looking at e-wallet. So the first question in relation to e-wallet is, dash is a virtual or cashless service used as a substitute for physical cash. What kind of virtual or cashless service you use as a substitute for or in place of physical cash, whether it is A, e-commerce, whether it is B, e-vehicle, C, e-wallet, or D, none of the above. So here it's very easy question. The service which you use for virtual or cashless things, that is because you do not want to use physical cash, is nothing but e-wallet service, and therefore option C, e-wallet, is the correct answer to this particular question. I hope the question is clear. Let us now move to the next one, which is talking about the characteristics of e-wallet services, and the question is, dash are the characteristics of e-wallet. What can be the possible characteristics of e-wallet? And the underlying options are A, atomicity, B, security, C is availability, and D is all of the above. So here these are certain characteristics of e-wallets. That means option D, all of the above, is the correct answer. That particularly boils down to the availability, the kind of security, and the atomicity which e-wallets provide attracts the consumers, and as a result of that, these are all the important characteristics of e-wallets in India. I hope this is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next one, which is again looking at the characteristics of e-wallets. The question is framed in similar fashion. The options are different. Let us look at what are the what is the question first, and then the options. Dash are the characteristics of e-wallet. What can be the possible characteristics of e-wallet? And the underlying options are A, it is cost efficient. Second, it is very easy to operate. Third is the confidentiality which it maintains, and the last is all of the above. So here again, if we look at the characteristics, these are all the important characteristics associated with e-wallets. That means it is confidential, it is easy to use, and it is a very cost efficient technique, and you are also getting certain rewards for using such e-wallet services. So in these two questions, we have seen 6 important characteristics of e-wallets. They are atomicity, security, availability, cost effectiveness, easy to operate or convenience to be very precise, and last is confidentiality associated with the same. So these were 6 important characteristics of e-wallets in India per se. I hope the questions associated with characteristics of e-wallets are pretty much clear, and also the definition per se of what e-wallets particularly boils down to. Let us now move to the next one. The benefits of e-wallets. What can be the possible benefits? The question is, which of the following denotes the benefits of e-wallets? The benefits of e-wallets: first is unlimited transfers, second is notifications also you are getting, SMS you are getting, email you are getting, Third is no need to share account details. There is no effective need of knowing the account details of the other person. The registered mobile number on which you are using the application or e-wallet is good enough for you to transfer money to that particular person. And the last is all of the above. So which of the following denotes the benefits? All of these points in a sense talks about the benefits. That means I can undertake unlimited transactions. I'll also get notifications in the form of emails and SMSs, and also I do not need any sort of account details of that particular individual to whom I have to share the money or transfer the money. So here option D, all of the above are the benefits of e-wallet services. That means it is giving me unlimited transfers, it is also sending me certain notifications in the form of SMS and emails, and also it does not asks me, or it does not requires any sort of details with respect to the other person's account per se. So I hope the benefits are pretty much clear associated with e-wallets. Let us now move to the next one. What can be the possible issues in terms of e-wallets? The question is in relation to that. So question is, dash are the issues associated with e-wallets. What can be the possible issues associated with e-wallet? The underlying options are A, authentication. Second is data integrity, because there are a lot of data which is generated with the use of such e-wallet services. You do not really know where it is going and how they are tapping it. So that is in relation to your finances. So that is why that integrity with respect to data is very important. The next is the security risk or threats which are associated with online banking, and the last is all of the above. So here when we look at issues at a very comprehensive scale, these are more or less the issues with respect to e-wallets in any country per se, and particularly in India. That means the problem of authentication, the data integrity associated with usage of the e-wallet services, and also the security risks. So here option D, all of the above are issues associated with e-wallets in India. I hope the question is pretty much clear. So here these 4-5 questions were in association to e-wallets in India. The next question is with respect to the last topic, which is in relation to bank mergers and amalgamations. So let's get there and let's start with that. So I hope the questions with respect to e-banking as well as e-wallets were pretty much clear. I put the link in the description in relation to e-wallets, in relation to e-banking, and here we have covered e-wallets. So please go and check that as well. It will give you more sense to the difference between e-wallets and e-banking per se. So anyways, let us now move to the bank mergers and amalgamation part. The first question in relation to that, this is the last topic in the second chapter. So the first question is, dash can be defined as the means of unification of two players or entities into a single player. That means there are two firms, firm A and firm B. You are unifying them to form a new firm called as C, or this B is merged into A and the original name A is retained. So what do you call such a thing? Whether you call it mergers, you call it amalgamations, you call it acquisitions, or none of the above. So here it is the definition of merger, wherein what is happening is there is a unification of two different players to form a single entity. So here the correct answer is merger. So okay, so merger, it can be defined as the means of unification of two entities into a single entity. I hope the definition of merger is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next question. The next question is, dash are the purposes of mergers and amalgamations. What can be the purposes of mergers and amalgamations? And the underlying options are A, to revamp production facility. For example, there are two firms A and B. Why will they come together? Because they want to increase the share of production in that particular market per se. Let us assume that A is some phone company or mobile company, and this is also a mobile company, and they want to collectively make sure that their share in the market is really high, and for that what they'll have to do is they'll have to revamp their production or increase their production, and in order to do that, what they do is they merge, and that can be the possible purpose of mergers and amalgamations. The second is financial strength, or to increase the financial strength. Individually this fellow had, say for example, 1 billion as the financial strength, but if this fellow also comes together, it will become probably say 2 billion or say 1.5 billion. So to increase that financial strength, you can go under mergers and amalgamations. The third is strategic position. For example, I want to be the sole sort of player in the market who's into mobile business, and therefore what I'm doing is, or let us assume that the telecommunication markets in India per se. So what is happening is to increase the, or to make sure that you have the largest share, companies like Vodafone and Idea merge together and things like that happen. So that is again your strategic position, and whether or not you want to capture certain share in the market, and because of that you undergo mergers and acquisition. And the last is all of the above. That means to revamp production facilities, to increase the financial strength, and also the strategic positions. So here, what are the purposes of mergers and acquisitions, or rather mergers and amalgamations? All of these, that is strategic position, financial strength, as well as revamp production facilities. So these can be the possible purposes of mergers and amalgamations. Let us now move to the next one. Which of the following denotes the types of mergers? The types of mergers. What can be the possible types of mergers? The underlying options are A, vertical merger, B, horizontal merger, C, conglomerate. This is conglomerates, and the last is concentric mergers, and we have to select the correct answer here. This is the question which is available to us. The types of mergers, whether it is first option A and B, that is vertical and horizontal mergers. The second option is B and C, that is horizontal and conglomerate. The third is A, B and C, that is vertical, horizontal and conglomerate, and the last is all of the above. That means vertical, horizontal, conglomerate and concentric. So here, which of the following denotes the types of mergers? The last option, which is all of the above, is the correct answer. That means there are vertical mergers, horizontal mergers, conglomerate mergers and concentric mergers. So these are the different possible types of mergers in existence. I hope this is clear. In this lecture, in the next two questions, I'll address two important types of mergers, and then we'll continue in the next class as well with respect to mergers per se. What can be the next possible questions with respect to the types of mergers? Let us look at question number 10 and 11. The next question is, dash or a dash results into consolidation of firms that have actual or potential buyer-seller relation. Consolidation or coming together of two firms that have actual or potential buyer-seller relation. What do you call such a thing? Whether you call it A, vertical merger, whether you call it B, horizontal merger, whether you call it C, conglomerate merger, or D, none of the above. So here, whenever there's a consolidation or coming together of two firms which have actual or potential buyer-seller relationships, then you call such a merger to be vertical merger. Very important point, vertical merger. I hope this is clear. Let us now move to the last question in this segment. A dash results into combination, please listen to this carefully, combination of firms that are direct rivals. Here, two firms who are direct rivals are coming together. That means the firms who are selling substitutable products within the overlapping geographical markets. So here what is happening is, there are two firms who are direct rivals of each other. They are combining or they are merging, and they also sell substitutable products within the same overlapping geographical markets. What do you call such a merger? Whether you call it a vertical merger? No, because vertical merger, what is happening is, there is a consolidation of firms who are actual or potential, or who have actual or potential buyer-seller relationships. So this is not into that. This is something else. Whether it is B, horizontal merger, C, conglomerate, or D, concentric merger. So here the correct answer is, it is option B, horizontal. Okay, so horizontal merger results into combination of firms that are direct rivals selling substitutable products within the overlapping geographical market. So very important sort of definition with respect to horizontal mergers, or the type of merger. So I hope what can be the possible types of mergers is pretty much clear, or rather what can be the definition of merger, what can be the purposes of the same, the types, the two important types called as vertical mergers, wherein two firms who are combining or coming together who have potential buyer-seller relationships or actual buyer-seller relationship, you call that to be more vertical mergers, and the second one wherein combination of two firms that are direct rivals selling substitutable products in a overlapping geographical market, they are coming together and you call that to be horizontal merger. In the next class, I'll continue with the types of mergers and also throw some light on the possible sections which are there in relation to mergers, amalgamations in the Banking Regulations Act, and also we'll look into some sections of the State Bank of India Act of 1955. So please stay tuned for more. Thank you.